Hi everyone, it's Mario Vegas and welcome back to the Tank Zone. This time let's take a look at Type 74, a special premium main battle tank, which was rewarded as a main reward for a Samurais on event. So let's take a closer look at this tank and find out how really special it is. Is it special or it's not? So let's start with sustained damage. 380 damage. Well, honestly, it doesn't look like premium tank because even some non-premium tanks can do much better than this. Penetration 560 millimeters. By penetration, it can compete with others and sit in upper end of these stats. However, again, some non-premium tanks can do better than that. For example, Type 85, which is not premium tank, has 595 millimeters penetration. So, 4128 DPM, which again, not a highest tier with some non-premium tanks can do better than this. 6.4 seconds reload is slower than some non-premium tanks can do. So far guys, I don't see really any advantages regarding sustained damage regarding this tank. So, and let's remember, we're talking about premium tank. But let's not jump straight away to the harsh judgment. Let's take a look at other stats and let's think how we can improve this tank and what we can do, what retrofits we can pick, crew skills to improve its stats, and how we can use all the properties what this tank has to adjust our gameplay. Let's continue with defense. 2300 hit points. In comparison to even non-premium tanks, some non-premium has more. 2350 hit points. It doesn't look like really premium. But let's take a look at armor calculator and let's take Type 85 as opponent to check this tank's durability from the front and from the sides for different ammunition. Let's take a look. Against armor-piercing, fin-stabilized discharging Sabo, taking Type 85 as opponent for this tank, we can see that our Type 74 has good frontal turret protection, very reliable, and very good frontal upper plate protection. But look at that, this belly, this lower frontal plate is very sweet weak spot to target at. Let's check its durability against heat. Against heat, it's as well very weak. And using heat ammunition, there are another weak spots on the turret ring. Side protection. Sides are vulnerable against heat. Turret as well, except this frontal part. Against AP, same situation. Now let's pick Leopard 1A5 and check this tank's protection against HE ammunition. Leopard 1A5 has HE squash head ammunition, but it's pretty much same thing. So let's check it. And oh, how disappointing and how painful it looks. Look at that. Frontal protection not full against HE ammunition. Even HE squash head, which has a penetration only 450 millimeters, can get through this lower plate and, you know, cause a lot of trouble for you if you've been hit by HE ammunition. Why am I saying that? Because look at that. All side and rear part of this tank is vulnerable against HE. And look at that. If you put your HE shell here, there, where is my pointer right now, you can see that you can, with one shot, with one hit, injure gunner, command, knockout breach, and turret ring. And if you rotate your opponent tank, if you attacking type 74 with your HE rounds, from another side, if you put your HE ammunition here, then you can injure gunner, commander, loader, knockout breach, and even wheels. Now, it is something to bear in mind when to play with our Type 74. Be aware of enemy flanking maneuvers. Never allow someone to target your sides, and hide as much as possible your belly. So let's carry on, and let's carry on with mobility. 61 kilometers per hour mobility, actually it's good for tank, and let's remember we're talking about tier 5 tank, which is actually good. And this acceleration 5.29 seconds is not bad as well. 34.42 degrees per second hull traverse, again, it's very, very acceptable and very good, I would say very good for tank. So utility, and look at that, 13% camo, which actually sits a little bit above the average, because average for a tank is 10%. So 13%, I would say it's very, very alright, if not good. But 340 meters vision is oh my goodness, it's totally blind tank. It cannot be a major con, but still, not having good vision doesn't benefit you, right? So let's carry on with targeting. -8 degrees depression and 9 degrees elevation. Let's remember that this tank has adjustable dynamic suspension, and actually you can tilt its chassis, its suspension to the front. That can fix that, and if not fix, then improve this -8 depression issue. 9 degrees elevation can be a small issue if you are PvE player, and if you are required to shoot a lot of flying targets during your missions, then yeah, then this 9% wouldn't be enough. Look at that, 0.085 accuracy. This is something, this is very great. It is absolutely brilliant, because these are stats what you expect from tank destroyer, not a tank. And these are stock stats. They are not improved with anything. Next, aim time. Aim time, again, it's very good. 1.47 seconds. Again, something what you expect from light tanks or tank destroyers. Definitely not from the tier 5 tank. And this turret traverse again resembles somehow tank destroyer and light tanks capabilities. 46.46 degrees per second, guys. It's very, very good turret traverse. Now let's summarize all cons and pros before we jump to the picking retrofits and crew skills. Right? So cons: small damage, small DPM, which is because this tank has a long reload. Heat point pool, not sufficient. Huge weak belly. This is a very significant con, and vulnerable sides even for HE ammunition. No ERA. So it is something to bear in mind and be aware of, because if you're not, you can get in trouble, I think, quite quickly. insufficient vision. Now let's take a look at the pros. Targeting, mobility, and frontal protection. These are pros. Based on all things what we looked at and learned about this tank, I suspect that Type 74 can be effectively played in two different ways. First one would be as an effective fire platform from hull down positions from medium to close ranges, if necessary using dynamic suspension to tilt the hull to the front and hide its belly behind the protective cover. In this position, judging by armor calculator, it should be a very sturdy fire platform and can withstand a lot of punishment. As this tank, a part of its AP rounds has heat with a 670 millimeter penetration and higher damage, which is 490, then I would suggest use heat as much as possible to maximize damage output. And second way how to play this tank, I think, is as a fire support tank, choosing protected hull down positions again, from medium to even long ranges, and utilize its very sweet targeting parameters. So let's find appropriate retrofits and crew skills for this tank for these purposes. For driver, I suggest to pick off-road driving, not to lose any mobility, any good things what we already have here, and spin to win, to even more increase hull traverse and increase its agility. Therefore, a little bit putting that as a defensive parameter, defensive capability to turn away your side if someone will decide to target it, and on the other hand, making it just generally more agile. Alternatively, you can consider to pick a field repair skill if you find yourself quite frequently immobilized playing with this tank. Because remember, its size are very vulnerable, no ERA, and HE ammunition can cause a havoc inside your hull. So quick repair can be a solution for immobilization. For gunner, I would suggest to pick quick draw to even more increase our aiming capabilities, decrease aiming time, and preventive maintenance. Preventive maintenance because if we will utilize adjustable suspension and hide the belly behind cover and take hull down position and play as a fire platform from there, then you will not leave any other reasonable choice for opponent rather than knock out your gun. So that's why preventive maintenance. Alternatively, we may consider to pick do the twist if we will take a little bit different gameplay approach and put our tank in a medium to even probably it can work even in large, long ranges and work as a fire platform from there. So in this case, this do the twist skill, which will increase already good turret traverse, will be, I guess, quite handy if you decide to target opponents in long ranges and swing your aiming reticle from one side to another. So it's a good skill. Let's carry on with the load. For a load, I suggest as a first skill rapid fire. Another skill for a load, I would suggest to pick preparation. And preparation because remember I suggested to use heat as much as possible on this tank. Again, because heat has higher damage rates that can somehow again mitigate these sustained damage issues. So, and therefore, by picking this skill, you will decrease ammo swap time by 50%, which I guess will be very handy because I guess you will gonna swap your ammunition quite often on this tank. Regarding retrofits, as a first retrofit, I would suggest to pick Gun Bridge to decrease reload time and again, therefore increasing DPM. As the second retrofit, I would suggest to pick Ballistic Computer because we have already very nice aim time, which we decided to improve with a gun skill for 10%, and Ballistic Computer will give you another 10% boost. So your aiming time will be very, very competitive and very fast. As the third retrofit for this tank, I would suggest to pick Survivability Kit, because remember we looked at the tank and it was vulnerable if you hit it in the belly and in a side with the HE shells, which cause a lot of internal damage for internal components and inflict injuries to the crew. So you must confront that threat somehow, and Survivability Kit is a good way how to do that. It even works on light tanks. If you find yourself quite often immobilized in the game and it becomes an issue, then I would suggest to pick Pioneer Toolkit to increase repair speed. And it can be combined in that case. In that case, it can be combined, sorry, with this one, Field Repairs, Track and Wheel Repair Speed for a driver. So, if it's the case. No optics this time, guys. Yeah, I know a lot of times in many episodes said that you must equip your tank with optics. It's like a standard to see better. But look at that. If we take this 340 meters stock and improve that with the optics for additional 35 meters vision, what you get at the end, it's 375 meters. And what actually you can do with that vision? Practically nothing. So that's why if you decide pick optics, I would vote for telescopic lenses to improve this vision up to 410 rather than for 375. So yeah, but telescopic lenses would work only when you are stationary. So regarding commander, actually guys, Philip Holzclaw is very good commander in my opinion for this tank, because it has very good protection skills. As another command option for this tank, I would suggest Douglas O'Reilly, because it is great command which has great skills like reload time decrease, which is issue on our tank. It increases vision range, which is issue on our tank. Vision range can be increased up to 50 meters with Douglas O'Reilly, which increase again repair speed, thread and wheel hit points, and even vehicle hit points, because this tank needs them. Yeah, 2350. It's not very competitive for premium main battle tank. So yes, Douglas can be another great commander for this tank, I think. So, and actually, that's it for today. I would like to hear your opinion about this tank. What do you think about it? How you play it? What retrofits? What commander skills? Crew skills? What setup you suggest? And overall, your general opinion about this tank. So, yeah. Write in the comments. And thank you for watching and following Tank Zone. Have a wonderful day, success in the game, and as always, I will see you in the next episode.